Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Yankees Farm Report. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, appreciate you. We're a couple days out from opening day. I think it's Friday, right? Friday, opening day for Tampa, Hudson Valley, and also Somerset. And we got rosters yesterday, I believe, or the day before. So today I got Marcus coming back today. I have Mark from the Bronx Muchachos making his Yankees Farm debut. Want to say what's up, you guys?
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, Carlos, thanks for having me. Thank you all for watching today.
All right, thank you. I want to say what's up to the chat, all the members, especially Tina, Joan, Diver, Tim, Donnie, SSB, and everybody else who always supports this channel. Appreciate you guys. Being the Yankee game is about to kick off in a few minutes, trying to get this through as quick as possible. So going right into it, the Tampa roster dropped. Marcus, you guys have any comments regarding it?
Yeah, I should probably apologize to Brando Maia after last week saying I couldn't wait to watch his Prospect Revenge Tour. He's not on the Tampa roster, and I don't understand why.
I'm with you 100% on that.
It's not like they don't put guys his age in Tampa. I don't understand why he wouldn't be there now. I got questions about Xavier Marte, who led the FCL in innings last year. If he's healthy, which I think he is, I don't understand why he's not on that pitching staff.
Yeah, Mark.
I mean, Marcus is 100% right. I mean, I was under the impression that Maia was going to be on this team. I also thought that Roderick was going to get the bump up to high A ball, which kind of throws me for a loop, considering the fact that him and George Lombard Jr. they both kind of were neck and neck. I mean, there was, George Lombard had the better first half. Roderick really exploded in the second half of the season. So there was nothing that he needed to really do to kind of show that he would stay down in low A ball. I think this was the progression that he needed to have to, one, open up in more competition. I know that low A, high, there's not much difference, but the fact of him opening up in a cold weather environment for the first time as opposed to warm weather, maybe that's the reason why they held him down, and then they're going to bump him up, say, May, outside chance June, like somewhere in that area. But I thought giving him a chance to really show what he can do in cold weather would have been a good move for him. But one of the other guys I'm kind of intrigued about is Gage Zeal. Actually, he was a Bulldog for the University of Miami. He's a Yankee, one of the many draft picks that they had, fourth rounder last year. So I'm excited to see what he has. He kind of has that starter mentality, but I want to see how it translates now out of the ACC and into professional baseball.
Yeah. For me, I have the same questions. Why is Roderick still on this roster? To me, should definitely have been at Hudson Valley, especially after the way he finished the last season. I think it was over the last 40, maybe 50 games. He hit close to 280. So for me, I don't understand why he's on this roster. Same for Brando Maia. I thought Brando Maia was finished strong at the end of last season. It was almost. I know that he did have some issues. I know the K rate he didn't really drop the K rate that much. That's probably his biggest issue that I would say. So I would have liked to have seen him on this roster. I would have liked to see. I mean, you another guy you have is Xavier Marte. You've already mentioned him before. Hey, what's up, Jacob? You mentioned him before. He was one of the best pitchers in the FCL last season. I personally don't understand what the decisions were. I want to say it's a roster crunch type of issue. Maybe I'm hoping to see both of those guys up quickly, but we know the Yankees don't typically move guys up that quick. This team also does have the five drafted pitchers. Sean Herman makes his return. Eglin Perez and Anglith Orena are two big guys that I'm very interested in seeing have been promoted. So I'm very excited to see them. Brian Sanchez is another guy that got the bump. Another guy that he played very well at the FCL. And three guys I didn't see on the roster were Willie Montero. I didn't see Manuel Palencia, and I didn't see Joe De Los Santos on the roster. I think Joe De Los Santos is hurt though. Not sure of his return as far as the other two. And I've been asked about Willie Montero. I don't know. I don't have
listed on the Tarpons website. He's listed on the roster right now.
Yeah, but I don't think it's updated.
It's not. It doesn't look complete.
No, I don't think it's updated.
Eglin Perez is not on the roster, and Palencia is. So I don't, out of all the affiliates, I don't see that one as being full, right? The pitching staff looked like it didn't have a full complement of names on it either.
Yeah. I guess just to get to this question from Tina real quick, what's your take on Elijah Dunham being released? I don't know if you have a take on that, Marcus or Mark.
I only wonder if maybe this is a situation where he asked for it. I mean, he did seem to kind of hit his ceiling with the Yankees. I wonder if they ever have those conversations where the guy reads the writing on the wall and sees he's not going to get an opportunity. Maybe this would be better if he moved on, and it's not like he's somebody, unfortunately, who they'd be able to trade at this point. So maybe they do him a favor and give him a chance to catch on with another organization before the season starts. But I don't see him as being signed someplace else as of now. I don't know if anybody else caught that.
No, I haven't seen it either.
So that's I don't know. That's just a guess. I have no idea. But
I mean, I can confirm that players do sometimes ask for their release. I can't confirm that. I know that that's happened to a couple players. As far as him, I was really big on him. I think it was in 23. I thought he had a shot at being the fourth outfielder. He played really well at Somerset, even at Scranton. But then he played very well at Somerset. But when he was sent back to Scranton after his time, after spring training ended, he did not play well. I think he was demoted, and he did play well for a while. So I mean that could have actually been it.
Yeah, he had a really good turn in the fall league, and it looked like he caught a lot of eyes there. But you're right. When he went up to Scranton, he did not have a long runway. They demoted him, I think, fairly early in the season, but things did not go well. And statistically, he didn't really have a leg to stand on, but they sent him back. And like I said, maybe that's where they felt like his high watermark was.
Yeah, he just, I don't remember what the numbers were, but I know that he struggled pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, he did struggle badly. And I think that the Yankees kind of messed up with him just because of the fact that he, like you guys were saying, he went to the Arizona Fall League. He really showed out in the Arizona Fall League that year. But that was the high time for them to actually, they could have gotten something for him at that point. And I think they're in that kind of, do we shift gears or not? Where it's should we keep him? Should we not keep him? And then they just held, they shoot the ball or pass it, and they decide to just sit on the ball, and and he didn't fall apart, but it didn't work out for him. And they could have gotten they could have gotten some pieces for him, and we're kind of stuck now with a what if question of what Elijah Dunham could have been, because he was also a non drafted signee, so right. he had that kind of like big push along the way for someone that wasn't drafted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought, like I said, I thought he could have been the potential fourth outfielder for that team 2 seasons ago. He played really well. If I recall correctly, it was like him and Volpe were like going head to head and putting up numbers, producing. I think stolen bases also, they were going head to head. It's just unfortunate.
And even during their time together in minor league spring training, when Volpe and Dunham were in the league together, we talked to Brandon Lockridge a long time ago, and he would talk about they would go 1-2, stealing bases, hitting, like everything. They were just in competition with each other the entire time that they were in Double-A together.
And real quick tangent, congratulations to Lockridge making the Padres out of camp this year. That's really great to see.
Happy for him. There was just no room for him in the org, but I thought he could have found a job somewhere else. He does have skills that would translate to the major league level. What's up, Diver? Before we move on from Tampa, so give me, who are your 2 players to watch at Tampa? And you guys in the chat too, if there's anybody at Tampa that you're really interested in watching, let us know.
Yeah, it's Perez and Urena for me. Those are the guys I'm most excited about on that roster.
I want to take Maya just because I have a feeling he's going to be on that roster. Like I'm with you guys when he said, like, I was surprised that he's not there. I want to take him amongst everyone. I mean, the easy pick for me would be Roderick, just because of what we saw he could do. But no, I'm going to go off the board and say Maya is going to take that extended spring training. They're going to bring him up and let him go from there. And then, like I said before, Gage Zeal, I'm really intrigued with someone like that, because he's got the makeup for a starter, even a number 3 kind of guy, but he's got that bulldog mentality that he wants the ball. Let's just see if it translates into professional baseball.
I'm with you, Mark. I thought the same thing, that Maya is going to be on that roster at some point here in the not too distant future. And with Arias, I'm I don't want to be internet swing guy, but I just didn't like the swings I saw from him. He went to camp and he was out of there pretty quickly. Where obviously Lombard played a lot. I mean, you can see the pecking order right now. It is. I mean, it's 47 degrees and rain in here today in the Northeast. So maybe you're right that let's keep him in the warm weather and let's get him off to a good start and then see what happens from there. And then lost my train of thought. We were saying about Maya. The mixed messages on Maya too. He started the breakout game.
Yes.
To me, was a pretty clear message that we think highly of this guy, but he's not breaking camp with the Tarpons. That's strange.
Yeah. The Grayson kid, he's the one that throws 104, right? 103, I believe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Throws hard.
What's your prediction for the rotation?
It's hard to say. Danny Flatt be in the rotation. What are they moving Jackson Fristow to the bullpen? Is that why he's down?
That was a head scratcher for me. Why he was sent back down to Tampa.
Yeah, so I think they're sending Carter out as a starter. Zeal. I'm losing. Let me take a peek here. I would say Herman probably is going to start again. Danny Flatt, and then I'm not sure after that. There was, again, no Mac Estrada. I was looking for that name.
Probably going to be in the FCL.
Yeah.
You got Flatt, Jackson Fristow, Sean Herman, Gage Zeal, Tanner Bauman. I'm not sure if they're going to put him in the rotation or out of the bullpen. Andrew Landry.
Yeah.
At Hudson Valley. Any surprises for you there at Hudson Valley?
Yeah, I jinxed Rock Riggio too because he's hurt. But apparently he's not going to be out that long. And I think I'm guessing he's going to get sent back there and not go to Somerset, even though Somerset's only got 4 infielders on the roster. I think Jesus Rodriguez is going to play a lot of third base. So I would guess that Colmenares and Escanio are not going to stand in front of Riggio when he comes back. I would guess he goes there. But and the pitching staff on Hudson Valley is going to be the main attraction, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say this pitching staff, just on paper, you got Ben Hess, Bryce Cunningham, Carlos Legrand, Elmer Cruz, Rodriguez, Kyle Carr, Josh Groves, and then you got Kate Smith, who's I believe will start the season on the IL. There's one more guy, Bryce Warrecker, who was a starter, and you have Tyrone Yulee also coming back from an injury. This rotation to me seems like the one where you had Chase Hampton, Drew Thorpe, Juan Corella, and all of those guys. I mean, that was just a dominant rotation.
Is this a 6-man situation, do you think?
Yeah.
Josh
Absolutely,
Gross should be starting still, I would think.
Yes, I would. Yeah, I would have him as a starter. Absolutely. Yeah, Hudson Valley typically deploys a 6-man rotation.
Right, especially with a lot of the draft picks are over there too. I mean, like you said before, Bryce Cunningham, Ben Hess, just to name a couple. Legrand, he needs the innings, and being a starter in the breakout game. Also, kind of going back to what we said with Tampa, that Maya started, Legrand started that game, and he got that push. So this is a good spot for him to kind of see what they really have with him, or maybe even just I'd like for them to keep him. And the Yankees seem to want to have bigger kind of bodies to be the starting pitchers. In the you have Lalane, you got Legrand, you got Jerson Alejandro, just for 3 of them to name. But 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", hard fastballs that you can kind of hopefully can learn to control. We got George Lombard. I mean, it's unfortunate to see Antonio Gomez still there too. It's a tough. I mean, I remember when he caught my eye. I mean, 100-mile-an-hour from home plate to second base. I mean, pop time was great. It's just that bat, man. It's just doesn't come around. It's just not coming around, and that's the unfortunate part.
Another
Jones there. I was gonna say, don't forget. Justin Lang is also on this squad. One guy I did want to point out was Chris Keene, who's been really good at the FCL and at Tampa, so I'm really excited to see him as well. He should be coming out of the bullpen.
Good numbers. I think it was Hayden Merida. Merida.
Murder as well.
Don't want to say that name wrong because I
Well,
think
he was out last. I believe he lost last season.
yeah, but I think in spring training, I think he was upper 90s, and that's a guy who had really
I
good
saw
metrics.
someone
I think
saying
when
that.
they signed him.
Yeah, I saw someone says talking about he had an uptick in velocity.
He was like a pitch data darling when they got him. So it'd be interesting to see what what he does this year.
So which are your players to watch here? Not named George Lombard, who, by the way, is now consensus top 100 prospect.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, he moved in the pipelines just after what's his name, Dylan Cruz graduated, and he graduated fairly quickly.
Yeah, I became a big Brendan Jones fan in spring training, and I'm looking forward to watching him.
Anybody else?
You know, I was an Anthony Hall guy early on. I don't want to think it's getting that late for him. So I want to see if he's in the starting lineup opening day. That's going to tell you something. And if he is, good. I hope he has a bounce back year.
I was looking at that yesterday. You know, the outfield, you have Jay Savina. I think he's hurt, by the way.
I was wondering about that. That's a guy who I thought would move to Double A.
Yeah, you have
3 years at Single A for him, or at High A.
No. I think this is his second year. This would be his second year.
But with the Yankees, I thought when they got him from the Brewers, he might have been at the same level. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know what level he was at with Milwaukee. You have Jay Savina, you have Jasson Castillo, who the Yankees are big on, and you have Brendan Jones.
You're right about Castillo. I think he helped himself in spring training.
Not seeing a lot of playing time. I mean, I have to imagine Omar Martinez is probably going to DH plenty because Antonio Gomez still has a very good glove, and that's probably to help the pitching staff. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the same thing about Martinez. And there's a guy who's got an argument to be moving up too, but there's really nowhere for him to go.
Actually, there's two very good defensive catchers in Frick and Antonio Gomez.
Yeah.
Mark, who are you guys to watch at Hudson Valley? Not named George Lombard.
Yeah, I mean, the guys really are I was big on Jasson Castillo, like everyone else. Would love to see what Antonio Gomez can do because I think this is this year he's Rule 5 eligible after this season. I think
he was Rule 5 last year.
Yeah, I think he is too.
So I mean, the top of the food chain here is the pitching. So I mean. You got Bryce and Ben. I mean, that's the best way to really take a look at it, see what all the hype was all about with our first with the draft picks. I like to see a lot more from Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. Also, I want to see what the pitching development staff, Mac Blake, all the way down, everybody can kind of work with him, see what he develops into. Mm-hmm. So, for me, it's all the Renegades is all about the pitching. It's it really is like when low A was all about the hitting for me. This one is all about the pitching.
Yeah, I mean I could definitely see that this rotation or this rotation, even the bullpen is pretty stacked for me. I mean guys that I'm most excited to watch: Bryce Cunningham, Chris Keene is one guy, and Brendan Jones would be the other guy. I'm been a big Brendan Jones fan since he's debuted. For me, he was one of the most exciting guys. One of the most exciting players in the organization.
For anybody with an MILB TV subscription, the Hudson Valley broadcast is a good one. It's fun to watch. So,
Joe Vasili, yeah.
What
league is Ben Hess playing in? He's in the Sally League, the Tie A. Let's move on to Somerset.
So that Somerset roster, it's some familiar names there that were there last year, but maybe some different versions of the guys that they had last year, or at least you hope so. That does the Alexander Vargas improvement continue on that track? Everybody's going to be watching Spencer Jones for obvious reasons. Jesus Rodriguez is the guy to me who I've got my eyes on because I really like the way he swings the bat, and I'm very interested to see how much third base he plays, because with Rafael Flores in there, I got the feeling he gets the bulk of the catching time, And so what are we doing with Rodriguez? He's definitely going to play every day, or obviously 5 out of 6.
I would probably have him playing third base mostly because there's a clear path there, and he's already on the 40-man. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, and
personally,
Tyler Hardman, he probably has
exactly.
his momentum there.
But Hardman also plays first base.
Right.
I think this team is stacked. I really do. I think this team is primed to go. I know that the goal here is not really to win; it's development. But I think this team can go really far. Like you said, they have a lot of returning players. They have Spencer Jones, Rafael Flores, Jesus Rodriguez. The rotation is headed by Cam Schlittler, Bailey Dees. You have Johnny Ventura coming over from the Mets org. Luis Pacheco is there now. Christopher Familia and Dylan Hassel were promoted. Brock Selvage and Tristan Vreeling will be coming back from the IL sometime soon. I think this team is stacked.
Vreeling was listed as active on the roster today. I don't know if that's right, but he wasn't on there when I checked it a couple days ago and they had their updated list, but he's on there today. So I don't know.
I don't think that's accurate. No.
Okay. And Brendan Beck.
Brendan Beck, yes. I literally have him written down right here. He's one of the guys that I definitely am interested to see. Hopefully everything goes right for him.
Yeah,
please stay very, very interested to see him.
Yeah. Also, I also have on the low key. I like Dylan Jasson also. Like he's kind of been that in between type of player. But hopefully now you can kind of really see what he's all about. Kind of hopefully this will be his breakout party kind of party.
Cole Gabrielson, too. When they interviewed the new hitting coach, that's the name he gave of guys that impressed him so far. And we talked about how we liked him in spring training. So let's see what he does in a full season.
So who are your players to watch on this roster going into the season?
I'm going back to the Spencer Jones well. That's where my eyes are going to be trained.
A lot of people are.
I'm just praying. Just praying.
Hey, by the way, speaking of, he said, I think I saw him today talking about he's going to a torpedo bat.
That's right. See, I thought we weren't going to bring up the torpedo.
I didn't want to. I'm so tired of hearing about that.
Well, I mean, what I would really be excited about, I don't see him as being a guy where, like they've done the analysis on the big leaguers. This is where you're making contact. So we're going to shift the barrel to this portion of the bat. I don't see that as being Jones's issue. It's more like he could use one of those meme bats that people have created where it looks like the huge barrel.
Terrible.
So if he's making contact, I mean, as long as he's making contact, it's damn.
Yeah, those 450-foot shots are going to be like 515 now.
Right, he doesn't even have to square them, and he's leaving the yard with it. So I'm hoping for more contact. I'm hoping that he's got positive momentum here because it's time. It's time to get on the train here. Otherwise, the conversation's gonna turn really cold really fast.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a big season from him, man, because I would love to see a complete outfield that's homegrown like that. I mean, I love what Bellinger's been doing so far, but I would love it if he puts himself in a position to force the Yankees' hand or finally get a call up.
I consider Bellinger homegrown because his dad played for the Yankees.
No, that's not. I don't think it's gonna work.
So sorry. So on the Spencer Jones train, what can we live with? What's the K rate we can live with? Is it going to be 30? Is it 30? Do we got to go down to 28%?
Yeah,
is it as high as 33%?
I think he's a star at 33% because I think when he does make, it's just a matter of how much he gets picked apart by that upper level pitching. I mean, I think you do need to see what this looks like at the higher levels. So I think the best thing is let's hope he doesn't finish the season at Somerset. If he finishes the season in AAA, that's great. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's a win. Well, if he gets to AAA, if he finishes the season in the Bronx, hey, even better.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people that's looking for that to happen. But
no, it does. I don't think
if he finishes in the Bronx, do you think something went wrong that he's up there?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because if he forces the Yankees' hand,
in doing so, would have to leapfrog some people, right?
I guess. That is true because he's gonna have to get on the 40-man. Then he's got to, Everson Pereira still on the 40-man.
I'm holding out hope that Everson Pereira is the guy who forces the hand and says, "Hey, you got to start considering."
He started well. He didn't have a good. I think he was an 0 for today, or I think he was 0 for today. Yesterday he got thrown out of the game from arguing balls and strikes.
But he is playing defense, and that's a good sign.
He is. He is. And who? I wanted to pivot to Jasson real quick, and I hate going back to this well, but how do you guys feel about the almost every game he substituted for defense?
I'm okay with it. To be honest with you, I'm okay with it. You got to remember something. He's not a natural left fielder. They threw him in last year. I don't know if they really told him this past offseason, you got to spend more time in left field, or if they just said, just go out there, do your normal training. And then when they got Bellinger, it's like, okay, now you're going to move over to left field. I think that you build his confidence up. And they've said it on the broadcast. They said 1 through 6, just build your confidence, just get the routine plays down, make sure you're doing what you got to do. Hitting, I mean, they're not taking him out of the lineup hitting wise. So, he's going to get at least 3 at bats a game. So it just comes down to, hey, show me, don't lose your confidence by making an error in the last third of the game that could cost the game. Show me that you can go forward, that you can make these plays, especially the routine plays. Then you're going to prove to me that, hey, guess what? Maybe it's more the 9th inning we're going to take you out right now, but let's get you 2/3 of the game in, then push forward.
I guess I would say I get it. I get why they're doing it. You have a good center fielder in Grisham. I wonder what they think the difference is at the plate between Dominguez and Grisham. Obviously, if they thought Grisham was equal to or better than, then Dominguez wouldn't be there at all, and Grisham be playing every day in center field. But and there's got to be, because we've seen this before, guys getting pulled for defense late. There's got to be a pretty clear drop in their minds defensively when Dominguez is on the field versus Bellinger or Grisham. So I get it. I get why they're doing it. I just hope there's a point this year where they stop doing it.
I hate it. Yeah. I absolutely hate it. I mean, I understand if it's a really tight game, then I can understand it. Yesterday came back to bite him in the ass where they had Grisham had to come up during his turn. I think he struck out. But to me, I mean, what does that tell Jasson? We don't trust you.
Yeah.
Right. And if the game is out of hand, and if the game is out of hand, then what is the point of substituting him for defense? If the game is well in hand,
the Saturday Sunday games, they should have kept them in. Like when they're blowing them out 20-9 and 12-3. Just let him get the reps. But the close games, I'm with that.
That's how you build confidence in him. Let him play those innings. He's not going to hurt you. The game is already out of hand. I like I said, I completely understand why they do it sometimes, but then sometimes, or most of the time, I'm just saying, why are you pulling him out of the game at this point? This is going to come back to bite you in the ass. It's going to be a key moment where Jasson turns that back comes up, and you're not going to have him in the lineup.
Yeah, I just hope that, like I said, the longer this goes on, the bigger of a thing it becomes. And what you're saying is, if this is impacting his confidence, and if he's thinking, if you're getting pulled for defense, you start looking over your shoulder. The game's getting late. It's like a starter who's, I know I only got so many pitches left here, and then I'm looking in the dugout after because I know somebody's coming to get me. You'd rather them just play free and not have to worry about that kind of stuff. But I guess it's on him, and then from there, they're going to have to believe in what they see.
I worry about this becoming like a Gary Sanchez type of situation. Gary Sanchez to me was fine his first year. No one spoke about his defense. Even the second year, no one spoke about his defense. But meanwhile, the Yankees behind the scene are telling you, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. Year after year, I think what he had 6 years with the Yankees, he had 5 defensive coaches. I mean, at one point, it just gets into your head. And I don't want to see that to happen with him.
Yeah, and those narratives take hold. And when you're in New York and you constantly answer the same,
you'll have John Boyd talking Yanks. You'll have John Boyd talking Yanks, talking about how he didn't go after a fly ball that was 50 feet foul. Like, just absolutely ridiculous. Like, I'm already seeing Yankee fans talking about this experiment is not going to work out. Let's try to trade. Let's pull a trigger, trade him, get rid of him. Let's move on to the next guy. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's 3 games into the season.
Right.
3 games into the season, about 25 games into his career. My God, like, Jesus Christ, these Yankee fans that I see posting stuff like that, I wonder how they would have survived the pre-Jeter era.
Yeah, I mean, if you look down in Dominguez's minor league career, I think he's played over 130 games once in his baseball life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a guy who's got a huge track record. I mean, he's still on the upward trajectory here. So this is part of it. He's developing at the big league level. And hopefully by the end of the year, we're having a different conversation.
And I
Jones
agree
right
there 100% with Joan.
Yeah, no, I agree with Joan also. I mean, they get the whole idea this year should be that he gets the Volpe treatment. That it's no matter what he's playing. Volpe had peak. When I'm talking peaks and valleys, we're talking deep valleys, but had high peaks. Both his 2 years. Let's be honest about that. It's both years, but they never sat him down once. Never sat him. I think I also think that with Volpe, there's a lot more narrative behind it all, and the business side of it all kind of jumps in.
Politics behind it.
But
maybe
I always said,
but he didn't slump defensively.
No, you're right. He didn't slump
but hold on.
But he did make his errors.
Volpe never came up because of his defense. That was never a thing with him.
You're right about that.
No one ever expected Volpe to play defense like this.
I thought he was going to be a second baseman.
A lot of people did. Yes, he was very good at shortstop, but no one expected him to be a Gold Glove shortstop. No one expected the Yankees to pivot from, he's going to be a guy that hits 25 home runs and steals 40 bases to, well, we got a Gold Glover now. No one. I never saw anyone.
If he was kicking the ball around and doing what he was doing offensively, he wouldn't have been on the field.
But how many times, especially when he had Rizzo, when Rizzo was playing first base, Rizzo saved a lot of baseballs that he was throwing in the dirt too. So that kind of brings his numbers up that first season a lot. And you can see the difference. I mean, he's got his second season, his arm, he had a better release point, and you could see the ball he didn't look as like because the first season he had to throw with all of his might that ball across the diamond. It seemed a little bit better last year, but
that was one of the knocks on Volpe was that he didn't have the arm for shortstop, and he showed people out that first year.
I just think he went to Vanderbilt and worked with like the football throwing coaches, and they showed a different release point for him. I think that's what he wound up doing.
By year two, you definitely saw an increase in velo from his throw coach.
Actually, the one thing I was reading one time is that the velo never really changed. It's just that his arm angle he released higher, and I think that just got the ball across better. The look was better than what the actual numbers were. Mm-hmm. So I think he's still sitting around like 83 miles an hour going across the diamond, which is bottom of the bottom third for starting shortstops.
Yeah. So let me go back to my point. That's my main crux, that I don't want to see the Yankees end up ruining this kid. I'm not saying that that Jasson doesn't have the mental fortitude. I'm just saying I don't want to see that to be a thing with him, right? I already see it in social media. Anytime any play looks wonky, right away the posts go up, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, can you get off of this kid? He's like a 21-year-old kid in his 25th, 30th game into his career. Let's give him some opportunities. Let's give him some time. He's still learning. He's still developing.
Agreed.
So here's a question. There was a lot of extensions given out today. A lot of young guys. Jackson Merrill, Christian Campbell up in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You got Dominguez. I don't think the Yankees are going to extend Volpe. I think he'll go to his free agent season to maximize there. But between Wells, Dominguez, I mean, it's not a bad idea to really start thinking about all this stuff to do that.
So that's an interesting question. Of the young players they have, who do you think they're most convicted about? Who do you think they would believe in if they were going to dish out an extension? Who's at the top of the list?
I mean, it's the Yankees. They're going to procrastinate for as long as they can.
Well, I wonder too.
Define young though. Define young. That's my question. Is define young.
Young as in not a lot of big league time. So I'll go with like Wells last year being his rookie year.
Yeah. Is Jazz Chisholm in that
let's say pre-arbitration guy.
Okay.
So yeah, I know what you mean about Jazz because age-wise they're not that far apart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pre-arbitration guys, I'll say. I wonder if they felt burned. They gave Severino an extension and he was hurt for a lot of it. They gave Hicks an extension. That didn't work out.
Hold on. Because for Hicks, that made absolutely no sense. That made no sense. I mean, he had a track record of being hurt all the damn time.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you give him a 7-year deal?
Because of the luxury tax ramifications. I think they took the lower
Well,
dollars.
hold on, because that also came back to bite them in the ass with DJ.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just
Well,
saying.
but don't forget they gave Robinson Cano an extension before he hit free agency as well. They ate up his RB years and one or two pre-RB years or one or two free agent years.
Yeah, I just wonder because it's not a common practice for them, obviously, right?
No.
So I wonder if that stuff sticks in the back of people's minds. But
I always say that the Yankees turn around. They whenever something goes wrong for them, they stay away from that same thing. Like they stayed away from a lot of Japanese pitchers or Cuban pitchers after Jose Contreras. They didn't go near a Cuban pitcher or Cuban player for quite some time. Drafting wise, they didn't go near Florida high school kids because Mason Williams and Dante Pichette Jr. didn't pan out for them. So they stayed away from those areas. You can kind of see, like, you're right. They if they get burned, they stay away from that. And then it takes them a while to kind of come around to that area again.
So who would you think is at the front of the line? I actually think that Wells might be the guy they would most likely give an extension to.
I'm with that. I'm with that. I was earlier today. I was kind of thinking when I saw Jackson Merrill's numbers that were out there, I'm going, I could see them, just thinking off the top of my head. I go, oh, you can give Dominguez 10 for 200 and he'll be set. But on top of that, I think Wells at like, even if you do like 5 for say 85 right now, I think Wells would take that.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams would like to do the deal that the Red Sox did with Campbell because I don't see a whole lot of risk there on the Red Sox part.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. What, 3 games into his career?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player. I think he is going to be a good player. I wonder why he took that. I mean, look,
You know why? I mean, to me, that's a double-edged sword, right?
You're right.
Because sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. I mean,
Yeah.
Rick Ankiel is a perfect example. Not Mike Hampton. What's his name? The Mets pitcher. Jesus Christ, I can't remember his name right now. The Gotham Knight.
Oh, Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey, right? He turned down $200 million because Boris told him he was going to get a whole lot more in the market.
No, you're right. If someone put $60 million in front of me, and
that's guaranteed money.
It's not like you're gonna.
You're not guaranteed.
You're not gonna lose
tomorrow.
But,
you're not promised tomorrow.
Yeah, it's kind of like maybe you're losing out on millions down the road, but that's on you to make that a loss.
Yeah, get an opt out in there then.
I don't know.
I mean, Jose Fernandez turned down the Marlins, and unfortunately you can remember what happened to Jose Fernandez.
Yeah,
I think with Fernandez it was different because it was rumored that he wanted to be a Yankee.
Yeah, but at the same token, I mean, you're looking at $200 million for a pitcher, and he already had Tommy John surgery. I mean, he literally was the face of the franchise. He even more so than Giancarlo at the time. Jose Day was a massive thing down in Miami. When he pitched, it was an experience to say the least.
Did we get starters for Friday or not yet? I haven't seen that.
I think so. I'll take a quick peek and see if anybody's listed. Well, Schlittler's starting for Somerset. I know that.
Yep. Well, that's my assumption. Or it could have been Bailey Dees. I think I saw someone saying.
I thought they announced it for Somerset, but I could be wrong.
What's up, Jonathan?
Hudson Valley is to be determined.
Yeah, I think one of the games is they have. I think game 3.
Nothing's posted for Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
With the chat talking about going through the extensions, do you think now it's more of a Brian Cashman thing not trying to give him the extension, or is it Hal not looking to do the extensions? Because my money's on Hal not doing the extensions.
I actually feel like they're not. And look, you're right. Past practice, it's not something that they often do.
No,
I don't know that they're as convinced about their pre-arb guys as they would need to be to hand out a lengthy extension. Even Volpe. That's just my thought.
I mean, they have a lot of guys coming up behind Volpe. Same thing for Wells as well. I mean, I'm a huge Wells fan, and that's no knock on him, but I mean that could be something that they're thinking about as well. Especially since Hal is trying to shed payroll or allegedly not. I've never called Hal cheap. I don't think that's his issue. I think it's a money management issue, but I definitely think that he sees what he's getting from some of the younger players and might be wondering, hey, why can't we continue down this road? Why do I have to continue buying $300 billion players?
I'm sure he feels like that. And really, and it's not a great model to keep having to chase the free agent market. Ideally you're having players supplement the stars. So maybe it's about a right now thing. Like if I are going to give out an extension, I'm paying more in the short term, and maybe they don't want to pay more in the short term because they already have big commitments, and that pushes up their luxury tax number. Who knows? I
mean, that's some of the issues that they're dealing with now. All right, so we're gonna head out of here, guys. It just popped 3,400 subs, marching towards 3,500. So if you guys can help me out, hit the subscribe button. Keep this channel growing. I want to thank the panel. Thank Mark for coming on. Appreciate you. And thank everybody in the chat, Jonathan, Joe, and Tina, everybody else. Always appreciate you guys coming on and all the messages that you send. Remember, if you have any questions, just drop me a DM. I'm on Twitter, on Instagram, or here in the comment section. I always appreciate it. Opening day is Friday, so we're excited for it. So I want to thank you guys once again for coming on. I appreciate you, and you guys have a good night. Get back to that Yankee game. Later, guys.
Hey, thanks, guys.
See you guys.